Welcome back, y'all. It's time for our third and final Starladder China match for tonight. We've got plenty more Starladder action, but China ends here with LGD Gaming versus cdec, former squad of the LGD organization.
Should be a good match. cdec looked a little bit off their A game in that earlier series. We've seen LGD stock rising, but still, this is the same cdec that 3-1'd Vici Gaming in a recent tournament and looked pretty good in ours. Looked good in the previous edition of Starladder. So yeah, I'm expecting a great match.
Definitely coming like close to that kind of like tier 1 team as far as the Chinese scene's concerned. They're kind of on the cusp and
tier like 1.25, I would say. They're really close.
That's fair.
And especially you've got teams like Vici look just awful today. I mean, obviously they're capable of better, but they've looked shaky in general. IG is a complete hot mess. LGD is improving, but still hardly like at the level they used to be. And Newbie probably looking the best of the bunch as of late inside of China, but we haven't really seen them at a major land in some time.
LGD look good when they play good opponents. Like that happened the other day against Vici Gaming in the best of 5, where both teams kind of rose to the occasion and played some, I'd say, really solid Dota. Like it wasn't the most perfect of games, but it was very entertaining and some, I would say, high-level individual plays, and sometimes the coordination was a bit hit or miss, but we'll see what LGD shows up today.
Here we go. I mentioned Ember as one of those big maybe heroes to consider banning out, but LGD find a better approach. They'll ban out the Naga and the Brute, and then they'll take the Ember for themselves. So probably something we'll see Yao picking up, and we'll still look to see what Sylar as well as In July will take on for their roles. But yeah, it's kind of a block pick in some ways. Yao's Ember is decent, but I mean, you compare it to like the likes of 430's Ember, or even Super's Ember, and it has not been at that level in the games I've seen.
He ain't the best, but he's solid. He's good. He's pretty consistent. You can rely on him to do well. He doesn't really play that like good late game carry Ember Spirit, but really good at controlling the tempo of the game, and that's kind of what Yao's position in this team has been over time. So we'll see what LGD look to go into as far as Sylar's carry hero. They're not going to reveal it right away. They're going to pick up a Jakiro for now. So there's your support duo most likely. Always possibility for that offlane Jakiro, but
yeah, just such a flexible pick in general.
Ooh, Viper. So I think they want the Viper mid against the Ember Spirit. And I like Viper against these heroes. The corrosive skin just allowing him to tank up and
yeah, it's like all magic damage.
Man, this is a fun Viper
Great
game.
Viper game. Get that pipe for this team. Oh my. He'll never die.
So Viper, I almost guaranteed to be in the mid lane. I think it's a bit of a waste to put him in the tri lane with the Ogre AA, unless those two heroes can just roam. cdec do have the possibility for offensive tri lane, of course. Tide, I think always with Tides, because Tide just does so well in 1v1 matchups with so many of these melee offlaners. And not many good offlaners left in the pool. Bat, Void both taking a ban. The Centaur is the main one, I guess. And oh, it's the Silent Medusa. Haven't seen this in a few weeks, I'd say. This kind of goes back to the NEST days where I think they were playing quite a lot of Medusa, and I've been awaiting my chance to cast a Silent Medusa game.
Well,
eagerly awaiting.
Fortunately, I poured myself a cup of coffee here in preparation for this game, so I too am ready for the Medusa pick. There's still a pick here for cdec left in reserve. There's an anti-mage sitting out there, and they've got their supports most likely. So if they want something to deal with the Medusa, that's an option. Batches up reasonably well later on, depending on what your farm curve looks like, but it's an Ember backing that hero up. So you look at cdec, they could go the other direction entirely and go just more for aggression and pushing. They have banned the Death Prophet. Razor was banned by LGD, so options fairly limited for that. I guess there's always heroes like Pugna, but that's a pretty risky pick as it commits you to that early push very heavily.
None of these 4 heroes really push, so like I don't feel like there's one hero with enough pushing power to like bring down
Death
towers
Prophet
quickly.
could have been that hero.
Yeah,
but, with that banned out.
A Death Prophet or a Lycan maybe. Like the only thing like remotely decent is an Invoker, but Invoker takes a while to come online before he gets the Necro books.
There's always that Lund Druid, you know, get that Mask of Madness going.
Yeah, kind of, kind of.
Yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, we'll see. Liquid Fire pretty good in general there.
Yeah, I think this lamp deals with Lone Druid very well. So I think your better bet is to try not fight super late game. Anti-Mage would have been a good pick, of course, against Medusa and also as a late game fighter, but banned out with obvious reasons. So your other late gamers are like your Spectre, your
Yeah.
Morphling, I think Morphling's pretty good.
Spectre could be good here. LGD have some slight aggressive potential with the Medusa. I have seen teams like throw it off lane or just go aggressive with it, and it's not bad, especially if it's gonna be a Spectre tri lane. But still, Spectre with Chilling Touch is surprisingly scary if you get out of position.
Yeah, I think cdec have almost been a bit outdrafted here. They needed a hero that can synergize with their mid game. When the Tide Ravage comes online, Viper gets his early tanky items, his mech, his treads, starts working on like a BKB or whatever it may be, the pipe. They need another hero that can actually put a lot of pressure on there. I think maybe just a Weaver is...
I was thinking the exact same thing,
It's so
actually.
boring in some ways, but it's just... I can't see anything better. Like, Morphling is just too high risk if you want to go late game, and they're going to go Spectre. I think the Spectre has to fight a lot in the mid game, so it's not... It can kind of be a bit like a Weaver with a bit less damage output.
Could work. I mean,
Yeah,
Spectre is a natural diffusal builder. Manta is a core item on this hero. Matches up pretty well against Medusa later on.
Yes.
Especially with the global presence of Chilling Touch. Their tri-lane is not that bad for a dual melee. You've got a lot of nuke damage, a very strong zoning support in the Ogre. It could work. And I guess it gives them a little insurance. But at the same time, we'll see. Their team fight I do favor, though. At this point, I would say, with the Tide. Well,
Ooh.
interesting.
Well,
now you really want that Diffusal Blade if you're Spectre.
Yeah, I don't know if you skip Radiance. Going Diffusal's
Is
hard
that a
on...
core Omni or is it a core Jakiro?
Can't tell yet. In July picks up Jakiro. So
Okay.
looks like we'll see possible dual lanes like with Jakiro, Omni offlane, and Sylar, MMY top. Omni just does so little in a defensive tri lane. He doesn't really zone. He can kind of pull.
He's good to keep the other side of the map alive, though. You just park him behind the Jakiro. Jakiro can be annoying with Liquid Fire, and most likely not going to die with that Repel heal coming through.
Probably dual lanes. We'll see, though. And
as for cdec, more likely just the defensive tri lane. Secure the Spectre's farm. Get your Tide offlane stacking the Ancients if he needs to, and run your Viper mid. It's boring, but it's solid.
Yeah, it's solid. Tide always gonna not enjoy his time against the Scarith Mage, but he can always make up for that. Stack some Ancients and just know that elsewhere on the map they're securing Spectre. Well, hopefully securing Spectre farm against an Omni Jakiro lane. It's gonna be tricky. So we'll see what cdec can do. They need to roam out, protect their jungle ASAP, because this bottom neutral area I think is going to be a key point of contention if they are going to be going for that dual lane bottom. And Jakiro's rushing down there. He went boots first, got given a ward. He needs to get a ward down ASAP for some vision and ideally not have it get dewarded.
All right. Well, with that said, we'll get underway with our third and final match of day one. I mean, it's already season 11 Starladder. It's been 3 weeks. We're back into the next season, and this one will ring in the new year. As in July, gonna duke it out with Garter, but with the boots first and the Fire Blast pickup, there's just no way they're getting that kill. So he gets his ward down. They do know that he was roaming.
Yeah, I think that's actually good for cdec, because they saw exactly which direction he came from. Like, they saw him running up from where he planted the ward, which gives them a very good idea where the ward was planted.
You're not going to plant a lane ward when you're not going aggressive, so it pretty much has to be in like a very small vicinity.
Well, I think they just know from the timing he couldn't have gotten to the pool camp either, just because they ran straight there. Like, the timing of it works such that he didn't have time to block the pull and then go back to get to that spot. So even with boots, it's one of those kind of things which players have to just do by feel, but I think they know that he probably didn't block the pull. They are going to go him here, prevent him just from getting the rune. He's got boots first, so you can't really get the kill off of it. And Garda gets the bounty rune. This is Ogre's best friend because he wants to get level 2 ASAP.
Well, with that said, we'll run through our lineups here. We've got cdec on the Radiant side, Q, going to be playing your Ancient Apparition, and moving down to the bottom lane, we have your Spectre being handled by XH. Going mid will be 3-3-3 on the Tidehunter, not going to the offlane. They're going to run dual lanes of their own. Garter roaming towards top is your Ogre, and that will leave maybe is the Viper here. So instead of running that Tide offlane is just going to get wrecked, they're going to run a very potent dual lane. And so then the question is, how badly will the Spectre suffer for this? The Ancient Apparition Spectre dual lane, pretty good against in a 2v1, but not very strong in a 2v2.
Liquid Fire is just so pesky here.
Yeah, and there's just like no kill potential really on the Jakiro unless he's horribly out of position.
both teams just kind of dodging lanes. Like Medusa wanted to just get out of there, and I guess it was more the Ember Spirit didn't want to go into the Viper, and then cdec are like, well, you want to dodge that lane, we'll dodge it and send the Tide mid instead. So interesting stuff from both teams as far as the lanings go.
Yeah, I think at this point you'd rather have your Ember mid and your Medusa top lane probably, but no matter who goes top, this is just a tough lane.
Yeah.
You can run the Medusa Skywrath or the Ember Skywrath, but you're up against that Ogre Viper. That's one here on the front lines that you can't really zone out, and the other that you can't ignore because he harasses the crap out of you. It's the cool thing about running this dual lane is I think they beat anything that comes here unless it's 3 heroes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I guess the benefit is for LGD, you're doing pretty well in this bottom lane. You're not letting Spec to get too much farm. You're harassing him, chewing through the region. Actually going for a bit of damage here on Faith. That's a
I don't know
very aggressive play from cdec.
He might get turned on here.
Yeah.
There's no spell cooldowns.
Not going to lose anyone, but they take a hefty amount of damage. I guess Faith is out of regen, has clarities, and also in July out of regen. So this is maybe lane 1 for cdec at bottom, because they've got a salve on Spectre, AA, I guess they've got the one tango. Both bottom laners are almost completely out of regen.
Yeah, they're just going to send some tangos bottom, so.
Yeah, that's a smart. Tango's a bottle, so that's Silas' bottle, but he says, I don't need it right now, you guys take priority.
Yeah, wouldn't even mind them just like using the bottle and then running it towards mid with that support Omni.
They'll scout the illusion rune. I think Omni may just do that.
Yeah.
Sylar doesn't need the bottle. Well, he's a bit low on mana, but
well, you can just refill it and use that illusion and then pass it off to him. We'll
How
see.
good of a guy is Sylar? Yeah, he passes the bottle to Faith.
That's teamwork, man.
Nice guy. Tango's
the real power of friendship. Or maybe I'll just keep the bottle.
Pub
Then he'd just be an asshole.
Pub players out there can learn a thing or two. You're mid, you've got your bottle at 2 minutes in, maybe someone needs to cure him more than you. You never know.
Yeah, what does Sylar need it for? No, he's going to drop it on the courier. Rain of Protection. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at it. He's even delivering items.
Such efficiency, man.
Oh, man. This is some next level communication.
You know, this reminds me of when, you know, LGD, when they're running Yao Shao 8 as their 2 cores, they do like the double bottle crow strat.
Yeah,
they have 2 bottles and they just ferry both of them together. But they had it like down to a science where they were as efficient as possible with all their hero movements, the courier pathing. Kind of reminds me of that.
And suddenly lane ain't looking so good for cdec. They're out of regen, and suddenly like, wait, how did this Omni heal up? How's this Jakiro also healthy? He's got Tranquil Boots, so he'll be full HP in no time.
Lane over, dude. Lane over.
Where's their career bringing regen? There we go. Double tangos for Q as well as the Spectre coming bottom.
Not as efficient as that bottle rune pickup.
Puh, plebs. That's amateurs.
Wow, LGD using some wily old veteran tricks here to keep themselves well in this landing stage. And
rune goes Tide's way.
That's a big pickup. He's got this invis, and he's bringing in Garter as well. This could be your first blood, actually. Oh, okay.
I thought I'd go for that.
I'm very surprised he didn't go for that.
Maybe it was out of Fire Blast range. Could have led with Ignite, though, and caught up for the Fire Blast, but...
Oh, you know what? He doesn't have a point in Gush, that's why.
Yeah. It's still a squishy Skywrath. I don't know. I mean, it would have been
just so fast, though, with the boots already. Yeah, if he had a point in Gush, they would have gone for that, but...
Alright.
Without it, your Ogre can't get in range.
So Sky going to swing bottom, and this is possibly singling... They see how low HP both these heroes are. They just brought out 4 tangos each, and they're still no HP, and they're both down to 2 tangos.
And they're getting heal bombed under their tower. Yeah. It's a level 2 heal, and then they're going to go, that's for GG. First blood. Lane's over for Q. Might be over for the Spectre as well if he's not careful.
10 HP.
Oh my.
I don't know why you use tangos there. I always get bothered by players like they're on their way back to base and they just tango. I guess maybe someone swings by and like gets a right click off.
He tanked very low from the liquid fire, so I think he's like, uh-oh, this might actually kill me.
Yeah. It was after it worn off though, so I don't know.
It was like right as it was wearing off.
I don't know. Just silly.
Bigger problem is that they're running the Spectre Ancient Apparition dual lane, and LGD are just punishing it.
Yeah.
The power of Jakiro, man.
This Spectre is getting pummeled. And meanwhile, Sylar on the Medusa, the kind of hard carry on the other side, he's got big farm. He's got 32 CS. He's your top farmer right now. He's doing fantastic.
Yeah, you look at cdec's draft, and they could have run a defensive tri-lane. They wanted to get the Tidehunter quick level 6. They expected probably that Ember going mid and the Medusa safe lane. It's like, oh, Tide will dominate this mid matchup, but that's not exactly what they got. They got The Viper, of course, had a great time offlane the Ogre, but they didn't get kills. And end of the day, Ember is still level 5, so I don't feel like their lanes have done nearly enough to justify how much the Spectres suffered.
Well, suddenly you've lost a tower as well, so even if these other lanes are going a little bit better, well, here's like Ember Spirit who's having a rough time. Suddenly gets a big boost in gold from the tower money. He also takes over the middle lane to get some farm.
They have a haste room, but there's a ward here for the Dire side. Can they get in range in time? Sylar's already back.
Yeah, still no gush, and he can just hug tower. He's got level 3 mana shield, so pretty tanky. He doesn't have that point in the ultimate. You normally see
Radiant
that
jungle, your Spectre getting chased out a bit. No, can't really go on him.
It's just constant
That's
harass.
still, when the enemy Scareth drives you back to your tier 2 bottom this early as Radiant, oh man. That's bad.
Looking around this mid lane now, Radiant team very lacking in vision, whereas the Dire team have the entire jungle warded up. And, well, Faith going to TP top. To be honest, I think he realizes this dive is likely coming, so he'll hide above in the trees and be ready to save Sylar's life.
They have Ravage. Are they going to look to go here on Sylar? They will. They'll let the Ravage fly.
Whiff.
Well,
that's like one of those visual things. The repel on top of Mana Shield.
Yeah,
it's hard to see.
I didn't even notice it at first. I was
like,
is the game glitching?
No, that looked kind of really bad. He repelled as soon as, like, because the Ogre got his stun off, and then the repel got rid of the Ogre stun, but
that's like Wisp with a double damager, and just like completely impossible to tell unless you just look at the buffs.
I don't think they even saw Omni, because he cast repel from Fog, so that looked really bad, but like a Shiva Ravage, but...
Even if he hits that, though, there was a lot of mana left. I don't know how...
I don't think they get the kill either, even with it.
Ember had a TP ready. Oh, he's only level 6, but probably could have gotten at least 1 or 2 counter kills.
They're playing hide-and-seek at bottom lane now.
Oh, the Spectre is so incredibly sad. He's burrowed his way into a new path behind the tree line, but...
I think he's bought a Quelling Blade, and I don't think it's to last hit as much as it is to just help him with these trees cutting.
They got to secure Spectre's farm. This is just getting ridiculous. And yeah, well, catch him out. He's like, oh, hey, hello, Spectre.
He's kind of...
trying to bait here a bit. They get that Ogre stun. He's already dropped the Spirit, and I'll just zip on out to it. No Ravage.
He's still going to be careful.
No Gush. Tough to get this kill.
Yeah, he's going to go straight for the TP. Next Fire Blast in 3 seconds. Really nice decision there to go for that TP.
And Space Created is your Jakiro. Doing Jakiro things, just taking all the tier 1s at 10 minutes.
This game
as an offlaner.
This game looks really ugly. Like, we're at 8 minutes in, but it's going horribly wrong for cdec. I think they kind of got outdrafted, and they also got really badly outlaned. Like, they tried to mix around their lanes to make up for the fact they got outdrafted, but
it just
made things worse.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame them for trying to do something different with their lanes, because the draft just didn't really pan out for them. But yeah, this is looking really bad.
And there hasn't been enough out of this Tidehunter mid to justify it. Like, that one Ravage aside, even if they use that Ravage and kill Sylar, killing Sylar is not enough to make up for the Spectre just getting absolutely nothing off the map, and there's no way he could have been involved. He's still not level 6, so...
They're just sieging towers now. Like, Sylar's coming to fights because he's such a big tank here. He's got 644 HP, but really this is like 1k plus HP, and he is not someone you can easily bring down. So this tier 2 probably not going to be defended here. Ravage up in 1 second. It looks like 333 wants to make a go of it. Sylar on the front line gets the ulti off first. That is huge here, and now cdec do not even have a Viper Strike. That got wasted in the mid lane. 333 low on HP. It looks like they want MMY. Turn around Ice Path, and...
this could be big. Yeah. Spectre coming in. Will he get anything? MMY gonna drop here. They look for in July. LGD maybe overextending. He goes for the repel. Did not have enough mana for the heal. So as a result, 2 heroes down. Tower did end up dropping. It goes to the Jakiro.
Just barely. That Ravage coming up at the exact time it needed to, but it's still just 2 support kills. So...
oh, meanwhile, at the top, we're in a little bit of a skirmish. Here's Faith out of mana, in a lot of trouble. Gush slowed down by maybe. No mana for the TP, and he'll end up dropping as well. Make it 3 kills.
All right. It's adding up.
But, yeah, I'll look for the trade now.
Yeah, and he's got a haste rune, so he's going to get at least 1, possibly more if he can chase down, and this is where cdec just need a full retreat.
Bought his Midas rest. Wow, really? Viper Midas?
Oh, this is not a Midas game.
Alright, support Spectre, carry Viper. That's fine.
I guess it's like, let's let all our outer towers... Getting this Midas basic says we're going to give you all our outer towers. We're going to give you all outer towers, every Roshan you want for the first 30 minutes of this game, and just hope for the best as far as defending high ground. Like, I don't see them...
I think they lose those
defending
towers anyway, but I don't know if they defend the high ground with this
Yeah.
pickup. They're up against Jakiro. This hero is basically an off-lane tank Pugna. Like, he's taken 4 towers already. He's looking for his 5th. Jakiro's just ridiculous, dude. It was one thing when Vici Gaming would do this with their safe lane Pugna, but you actually had to protect that hero. Jakiro, you throw an Omni Knight behind him. I don't think he even really needed the Omni Knight there to stay alive or get his farm, but what a beast.
Omni also really going to be really useful for pushing high ground. Just having that Guardian Angel to sit behind, having a repel, but main problem right now for LGD, which is going to stop him pushing high ground, is levels. This is a level 5 Omni Knight. He's got 1 point in repel. You need that kind of like 4/4 purification repel plus at least 1 point in Guardian Angel before you kind of want to go push high ground, but that's at least 10-15 minutes away.
It's okay. Midas secure now. Maybe can turn this.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know about that one, LD.
Uh-oh. Not going to help if his team starts getting picked off Garter. Walking in, they're a bit nervous about this Tide Ravage. It's very close to cooling down.
Yep.
And they probably assume it's up. The Haunt, not able to engage. They're going to jump onto Sylar, isolated. Where's that Stone Gaze? Not going to end up popping it. He gets healed, repelled as well, but the Ice Blast comes through after he dies. Connects on Faith. Now the chains. The Remnants coming through. Ravage was there. Clipped Yao as he jumped on in, but he's still surviving. Again, the heals. Oh, mamma mia. Big damage done. Now looking for a bit more. Garter on the retreat out. Your Spectre is on a killing spree all of a sudden.
He sniped the kill
and he's
on
looking
the
for another. Oh, that's an MMY death. Well, maybe not. Out of Urn charges. If he had a dagger, he would have gone.
Yeah. Possible Soul Ring Heal Bomb, but it wasn't cooldown, so...
Yeah, could have gone if he had just a bit more mana.
That Jakiro got 4 Hero Ice Path, saves that fight. It's still an even trade, so it's... cdec actually get a decent flash out of it.
Imagine if this Viper had an item that helps them fight now, though. Like,
yeah.
Instead of picking up this Midas. They could have done a lot more there. You get your point booster, you build towards your mech. I don't know. Well, good news is Spectre is on a killing spree, so if he can survive, that would be... Oh, I think I jinxed him. Yeah, I was trying to jump on him here.
He's still got, some ways to go before he needs to have a Radiant here. Fire Remnant just to try and scout him out over there, but he's long gone.
And with the Jakiro, they can just safely siege. And whenever Ravage is down, it's just very difficult to go in and prevent this. Even with it, it's tough. The repel is just such a nuisance.
Silas picked up an ultimate orb. This will just... He needs... He's only got sub 700 HP with these Intreads.
Looking for Q top lane, the Yule Scepter of Injuly. Uh-oh. See ya, Ancient Apparition. Mystic Flare, he's going to run to the north. That ain't going to happen either. Down he'll go.
So pick off, maybe swing back mid, back for this tier 2 tower.
They're doing a really nice job of not just trying to force the push, though. They leave Yao bottom. That means Spectre can't farm this lane, basically. Or you can walk in, hit creeps a few times, and then be forced back. And at the same time, they pressure mid and top. So
and really I think they need these kills, because kills is what's going to get them the levels they need on heroes like Omni Knight.
Oh, even he's going to haunt. Really, committing heavily to Yao. He'll go for the TP out. Doesn't have the damage. In fact, he gets scared and backs off. He's like, if there's anyone behind him, I'm just flat out dead. And with Haunt down, you push on mid if you're LGD.
It's the Repel Jakiro push. He allows him to just go to the front, spam this liquid fire, I guess.
They need that defusal. Not coming anytime soon. It's not a very high level repel, though, as you pointed out. So,
yeah. That's, I guess, the one relief for the cdec side. They go for the 9, not going to get. Jakiro gets more money in the bank.
I gotta say, GoDz, I really love the way LGD's playing this, but you didn't look at their draft. Ember, Medusa, and just say, oh, they're going to take all the other towers at 15 minutes, but that's exactly what they're doing.
Medusa's one of these weird heroes. Like, you either have to, like, turtle and farm for super late game, or you can use her really, like, in situations like this when you get the good start, so... Yeah, it's much more often the former happens.
And Mystic Snake is actually a decent nuke, especially just from, reducing your opponent's mana, and keeps her healthy. With the Omni Knight there, she's very, very tanky, so... Yeah, she's not the strongest hero at this stage of the game, but, I mean, Spectre with this amount of farm is even weaker, so why not exploit that? I love the way LGD's playing it.
So you're going to go for a smoke here. They want to make use of another Ravage here. Still no Blink on Tide, and still quite a good ways to go, so... This is a smoke which is maybe going to allow him to just bypass the fact he doesn't have it. They're using Yao to scout with Repel, seeing this one coming. You can't Ravage this guy, and he's going to fire him out of there as well, so...
Well, nice play there. That's how you scout. I mean, what do they do? They have no way to break that.
I wonder if they saw it with this observer on the high ground. I think the smoke came from the base, but you see heroes missing, and you're like, they have Ravage. They're going to look to maybe defend this tier 2.
Well, good news. They almost have their mecha, maybe. That's coming out, but at the same time, XH gets trapped. Your Spectre, who I was just about to say before that, he's actually starting to get towards that Radiance, but that death is going to slow him down a lot.
Yep. Another Ice Path's going to come out, maybe in trouble.
Have a Remnant forward. They're thinking about it, but now the Haunt comes through. Your Ravage connects, but not before that Omni Knight ult. Doesn't really seem to matter, though, as it's primarily nuke damage, punishing LGD. The heal from Fade.
Though.
Is it enough? Yao rejoining the fight. He doesn't have Flame Guard, though. Ember, not that scary. He's also going to miss the chains, and now he's trapped out. This is a dieback from Yao. That is a gargantuan feed.
That's
still, though, the Spectre died. So.
Yeah, I think LGD still at least trade even on that fight. They're going to get this tier 2 tower, it looks like, as well. So
that was actually a dieback on the Spectre as well. He died, bought back, died again. So I think trading an Ember dieback for Spectre buyback is worth it.
Yeah. And the way Yao plays, he's not the actual carry for the team. They're going to go 2 on 3 on the tower. People pretty low on HP here, so they're not going to overcommit for this one as Ogre shows up. And he's got that multicast fishing around. Who's he going to find? Goes
you can't go on Sylar. Yeah, the Faith's the one they want. He doesn't have his heal for 5 seconds. This could be big. All right, push
Sylar bails. He's like, oh, I got Repel. I can just TP out.
Well,
that'll work.
The rest of the folks trot back home. Well, you know Ravage is down for about 80. Your Omni's up in 20. I think you try to at least go for something.
You got a DD rune. Let's maybe Roche with that.
Yeah,
if they scout it out.
Could Roche could try to push him bottom again, although I think by the time they get there, Ravage will be up.
Yeah.
But man, look how poor XH is after that dieback. He had like 1,500 gold 3.5 minutes ago, maybe 4 minutes ago. Now he's down to 1,200.
Yao's similar boat, but I guess he's the Ember Spirit. He does still fall off a little bit. Like, you've got to be a bit careful.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have drums. I don't know if you even still go drums at this point. It's so late. He finds
it's not. It's a good Ember game too. What is there really? There's Ravage and there's Ogre Stun. That is it to lock him down.
So Yao tried to leave the DD room for a teammate, and it disappeared in front of his face. And gets a bounty rune set. So we'll find the Viper now instead. Maybe getting kept alive by his mech there. Not for long. MMY gets a last kill with an Arcane Bolt.
You know, it's like you pick Viper because there's a lot of nuke damage and he's tanky against it, but then they're just like, well, we just have too much nuke damage. Yeah. Doesn't even matter. This is going to be big. MMY on already with your earn up, 1,500 gold in the bank. The Omni picks up the Buckler. LGD still, despite having some late game opportunities here from their draft, gearing up for a very potent 20 to 30 minute stage of this game where they just look to bulldoze their way into the CDEC base. With this tower dropping bottom, GoDz, that is going to be a ticket to Roche.
Yeah. So, it took a bit longer than I expected to take all the outer towers, especially with the Viper going Midas, but it happens in the end, and yeah, Roshan should be next on the cards here for this LGD squad. There's your Skadi for Dusa too, so just looking to tank up as much as possible, going for a pure stats build. The actual Skadi slow at this point isn't that high impact. Medusa's not doing that much right-click damage. Yeah. There's no key heroes you need to slow down or like a BKB core that it goes through, but
it's just a good first item. It doesn't really change. It doesn't like break the game open. It just means she'll be around longer and a nuisance for longer.
I like it more. It just you get a bit more survivability than the Lincolns, and the spell block can just be so easily dealt with. So
yeah,
it's a nice little way to play.
Oh no, he went back for a Vanguard.
The Spectre. Somewhere Ben Merlini Wu is just like rolling over in his grave.
20-minute Vanguard against a team full of nukes.
Yeah, I don't know about this one either. I don't know whether I guess you're looking at this game like they're about to break out high ground with his Aegis, so what else can you do? They're actually going to fight this.
Ravage is there. This could be big. The initiation comes through. They'll bring down the Skyreth. Hey, maybe it'll make the difference here, although Ingelai lays down a great zoning macro power. Everybody on the way out. Now your Ember on the way in. Skywrath rejoining the fray and looking to engage as he did buy back for this one, but the Mystic Flare's off the mark for MMY. Maybe finally going to go down. Your Spectre's still healthy, but remember, there's an Aegis. That is the slowest and saddest Remnant you'll ever see. As Yao looking for a chains, not even going to bother. But the thing is, Ravage is down, Haunt is down. They didn't actually pop the Aegis. They do force out the Skyreth buyback.
Yeah, kill a Jakiro. That's like the best thing that's happening in these fights is like a Jakiro dies.
But now they're going to have a nice little window, about a minute and a half with no Ravage. And Haunt will be up potentially during this push, but it's a Haunt with no Ravage for the extra 30 seconds after that, so I don't know. I don't know if LGD can actually push high ground now, but they can just deward the enemy jungle and gear up for that next push if they want to.
Well, for cdec, after this Vanguard, I guess you now start saving for your Radiance. Like, you could go straight into the Diffusal, but I don't think Diffusal is good until much later on against the Medusa. You're not hitting fast enough. You're not really burning that much mana, especially like level 1 Diffusal. It only really gets good at level 2, so...
Yeah, and you can purge the Omni Repel, but...
Vanguard Diffusal, you just farm like a potato. Like, you're not farming.
I would agree with that. You don't want the Diffusal. You want the Diffusal plus the Manta, and that's a long time. I mean, I think if you want to go that build, you probably just go for the Manta first, if anything, and then back into the Diffusal, but
yeah,
still, it's pretty slow. So I think with 1,800 gold in the bank, that's where you say, yep, I'm going for the Relic anyway. He still had a good game overall, 6-2-3, and considering what he was up against, XH, probably the MVP for cdec right now.
Formidable comeback considering his rough lane, and
he's still really poor at this stage of the game, but yeah, considering that they're down 5 towers. Oh, top lane.
Yeah, I'm just poking. He can't fight anyone with his bracer build. His 22-minute bracer. Mid lane, though, that's where the real fight's happening. It's Sylar going in. Starts already had used his ultimate here.
No Yule Scepter. That Rod of Atos, though, doing a lot of work.
Ravage up in 5, so that's what you got to watch out for. And there is a blink now on 333.
This is not over yet. Spectre is farming. Relic is he's in striking distance of a Relic, and LGD just keep on pushing with the Medusa, which means Sylar not getting his customary ridiculous farm. Still farming well, but...
You lose a fight or two, and suddenly there's a Relic, and a few minutes later there's a Radiance, and it's not just the Spectre, it's Viper who's starting to get tankier and at least a bit beefier as well. He's working on a BKB with Ogre Club already picked up, and only about 1,800 gold to go. So one bad fight for LGD in this game suddenly looks a bit kind of dicey for him.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm worried they just pick up their mech now if I'm LGD, but I am worried if I lose a fight here. That's when I'm like, oh crap, we're in trouble. They'll bring in, let's see, he's going to go back for the Battle Fury. So, not going to complete the drums.
Yeah,
and
it was just so late. It's not worth completing anymore.
Yeah.
And they're persistent. They want to go for this high ground. Aegis is up for only a little longer.
Yeah, the Liquid Fire. They'll just poke and prod at this tower mid. LGD continuing to push on through. They've got the Aegis, like you said, just for about another minute. And they'll definitely do significant structural damage, but there's still a Glyph, Radiant buyback status. They've got one on Spectre and Viper, both of the cores.
They're just
I think if you're LGD, you don't even worry about killing this tower. You just do as much damage as you can, and it's the next stage just that you look to break base with.
This is like the old school Lifestealer raid. Like you rage, right click tower for 3 to 4 seconds and back up before it wears off. They're doing it with a Jakiro with Repel. It's just the slow and steady. How do you actually fight into this, and how do you stop this tower going down? It may take a minute to go down, but it will eventually go down.
There's your Diffusal. He feels he should fight now.
Yeah. I guess less so for the Medusa and just for the Repel at this point. Maybe thinking they can just catch Injuly by surprise with a Repel and burst him down on the Jakiro?
Maybe. If you throw everything at him, you might be able to burst him. But he's got a Yules, he's still got the Omni ult, the heal.
That's true.
If you don't Ice Blast him, it's not that easy.
Tide's going for a loop-de-loop, so this is the play. But
I really feel going for the Relic build just was putting a lot of pressure on LGD. But when they see this Diffusal, they could just breathe a sigh of relief and say, all right, we can wait for the next Roche. There's no time bomb this game. Yeah, Spectre could get strong late, but he's going to farm out towards that very slowly, and really will only keep up if he manages to take some fights.
LGD just somehow realized something's a bit wrong, maybe just because cdec get a bit too aggressive, they move out of their base, they just position themselves such that they want to take a fight, and LGD are like, huh, why are they doing this? Something must be going on, like the Fusel purchase, the Tide was smoked up, and well, cdec not going to make anything out of it. They were really hoping to catch LGD by surprise, but it doesn't happen.
Well, that sets the stage for this next Roach to be a big player, GoDz, and cdec. Good lineup to contest in the pit, I gotta say. The Blink Ravage, the Haunt, the Ancient Apparitional, but it's more just having zero map control. So if they want to contest that, they're going in blind.
Yeah.
Which means most likely LGD should get it. They have their Battle Fury
from the
number.
LGD side. They're often fighting with that. Ember Spirit has a fire remnant nearby.
Does he have it for much longer, though, is the question here. Ice Path comes through, Mystic Flare. Very underwhelming duo. And they'll still continue to chase in. Now the Ember picking up his Battle Fury. Sylar trying to zone out everybody else. Spectre jumping into the middle of everyone. What the hell was that? Oh my goodness, he just got wrecked. Now he's going to go down. Can't Haunt buy back into this fight. And 333 will throw out the Ravage, but that means no Ravage, no Haunt, no Spectre, no maybe. Complete self-destruction from cdec. What the hell was that?
It's the bottled double damage Ember Spirit team fight, which is just so dreaded. You don't know it's coming, perhaps, and more than anything, the Spectre just making a weird decision to go in there.
He should not have haunted. And like then they also after that they should have just backed anyway. Save the Ravage for the high ground. Ooh, that hurts.
And here's the high ground. Let's see. Without a Ravage, you're losing Raxus here. I don't think this can be defended.
I'll try for it. Ice Blast coming on through. It's going to connect on Yao and Sylar, but it just kind of tickles. Your Ogre tossed up into the air. Now they attempt to deal with him with that twin-headed dragon. They'll bring him down easily.
In July, going for this peculiar max Jewel Breath build. Not something you see every day, but it's
that is very odd, actually.
Yeah, I keep seeing these like Yule's combos, and then the hero's like Ice Path for such a short duration.
Yeah, like the Mystic Flare earlier. It was like Yule's Ice Path, Mystic Flare, and then like a quarter of a second later, they're walking away.
No, I don't know. If you're going to go the Yule's Rush, it seems like you should max Ice Path, but he's doing a lot of slow and just general damage in these fights with the Jewel Breath. We'll get another combo off here. The Viper takes all 3 spells and maybe can't really run the slow with the Skadi. He's at minimum movement speed of 100 there from the Skadi plus Jewel Breath.
They're going to buy back on their Viper, TP him into the tower, but there's no Ravage for a minute. They don't even care. Ember just going to zip out. Yeah. Maybe they retreat. Still the damage is done. And the next Roche is coming on soon. They're going to blink in. 333 going for that initiation, but your turn comes from the Medusa. Sylar low on mana, but he's got 9 stick charges if need be. They'll haunt. And then what? Trying to bring down Injulai, can't quite do it. Trying to bring down MMY, can't either. Faith just casually standing and delivering. 333 forced to TP out, and
everyone just wants to hide in the trees.
There's no hiding. There's no running from Yao. It'll take you down. It's actually Sylar, and that's pretty much it.
Well, you may have a Ravage soon now. GG's called, and this LGD 5-man has just been unrelenting.
I really think if you'd gone for Radiance, if they'd landed a bit differently earlier, like at the very least, LGD would have been under more pressure, and you can't underestimate how that can just cause mistakes. You know, they see that relic picked up, like, oh man, we got to go now. We can't wait for the next Roche. It might be too late. He might have Radiance by then. But.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough game. Like when we got to that point in the draft where both teams had four picks going to the last pick, I'm just like, what does cdec even pick for their 5th hero to make this draft work? I just couldn't see something that would actually function for them.
The other thing was that mid fight. You remember, looked pretty good for cdec considering. Imagine if that Viper had a mech instead of a Midas and some gold in the bank at that point.
No, I agree.
Could have been different.
Well, that's a good start for the LGD squad. They've had some ups and downs over the past few weeks, but looking to keep on trucking here in Starladder. Yeah. Apparently they won't be going to Dream League because of visa issues, so they're looking for some international tournament experience. They need to qualify for Starladder now.
They're trying to qualify for the summit. They put out a video today.
Yeah.
Yao being as suave as ever, requesting your votes, guys. So.
Hey, look, man, it was all about Sylar in the baseball cap. He's pulling the loader.
I mean, LGD has done 1 video, Cloud9 and their fans at this point have done 20. Navi and the rest of the teams haven't done any.
Cloud9 don't even have to make the videos. Other people do it for them. Not just fans. It's like Universe doing it. Yeah. I guess he is a fan.
Maybe he's telling Cloud9, when you guys finish 2nd, I'll take an additional cut of that. But you'll get some good LAN experience here in another silver medal.
Well, that's the worry. Cloud9 going to finish 2nd in the redemption vote. Like
they might.
I mean, the odds are definitely in their favor.
It would only be fitting if they did.
Well, that's not what we're watching. We're watching Starladder. We've got SCA coming up next. Just 1 BO1 for Starladder SCA.
Who's it going to be? Anyone good?
Execration Insidious, maybe?
Okay.
Does that sound right? Yeah, that sounds
right.
But
who's on? They lost Bimbo. Did they lose one other player?
Yeah, they also lost their support, RR. So I'm not sure who's their replacements right now.
See.
Who have we got?
Primo and Doc X.
That sounds like an old... What are you looking at Join Dota for? They don't have accurate team rosters. That's actually just a fact. Not even trying to fire shots.
Incoming Reddit thread. 3,
Get on Liquipedia or GoDz Gamers. They'll have some accurate rosters.
Alright, let's see. What do we got here for Execration?
GoDz Gamers actually has like the most
Alright, well,
intense data.
This is very inaccurate as well.
Yeah, they have their old roster. I think it's because they haven't actually announced their new players, but...
Okay. Either way, Execration versus Insidious Idol coming up soon.
Okay. Done.
Enjoy. We'll be back.